chatting with Coach McGee, Garrick McGee of UAB, and I think it is a very poignant story, Coach, and it makes it even more difficult to ask the next question. How did you find yourself in trouble a couple of years ago in this? And I'm not sure if I understand the exact charge. We call it a DUI. It turned out to be pled down. But considering everything that you learned back then, how did this happen?
You know, at the time, Mark Murphy was our athletic director at Northwestern University, which is obviously one of the best universities in the country. Mark is a lawyer. Mark, at this point, is the president for the Green Bay Packers. When that happened, Mark understood I was home at a camp that we put on for neighborhood kids. It's a free camp. I called Mark when it happened and told him what happened. He understood how to go about getting the proper information for himself. He understood, because he was a lawyer, on how to process the information. And I'll never forget, I was still in Tulsa, and Mark called me, and I was really worried about...
Well, what did you actually do to get yourself in legal issues?
Well, I was parked in a really bad spot. I was leaving dinner. We were having our meeting about the organization of this football camp that we were putting on the next day. And I was parked in a bad spot and ran off of a curb. There was a policeman there that was parked really close to the parking lot. Once he pulled me over, he asked me, did I have a drink with my dinner? I said, yes, sir, I did have a beer with my dinner. And, so he said, well, listen, I don't think, at all that you're intoxicated, but my job is to take you down here. I got to do my job. And I understood that.
So you were charged with what?
Well, I was thinking about that because I know that's going to come up. I'm not sure. I'm sure it's somewhere written up somewhere. I know that when Mark Murphy called me back, he said, well, listen, I have all the information.
You don't remember what you were charged with?
No, I don't actually. I think it was reckless driving.
Okay.
I think that's what it was, yeah.
So was it DUI?
No. Yeah, it was a reckless driving, I think. I'm sure it's written somewhere. But, when Mark called me back, Mark said, I know your character. I know who you are. In no way do I think that you're driving around the streets, acting bad, drinking, driving. In no way do I think that. You are safe here. We appreciate what you do for our program. We appreciate you as a leader of our young men. You're the offensive coordinator of this program. You need to get back here and get to work as fast as you can. We need to get this thing out of the media as fast as we can. So I'm really lucky to be around the right people.
Listen, I wasn't there, and I'm not going to be judgmental on how the process worked. But this is certainly not something that you want on your resume as you're trying to move up the ladder. So let's skip ahead to this interview process. At what point and how was it disclosed to your future employer?
Yeah, well, I always, when you go in to interview for a head coaching job, they say, all right, tell me who you are. And then you start from, who you are, the way you were raised, the basic fundamental values that your parents give you. And as you go through the process of your high school, my dad was my high school coach. Lovey Smith was my recruiting coach. I went to Arizona State. While I was at Arizona State, these certain things happened to me. I made these decisions. These were the people that it affected at the time. This is my feelings on these situations right now. And then you go right through your life. And I think that when people don't learn from their mistakes.
So you told Brian and the people you talked to at UAB about the incident that occurred.
Yeah. And again,
did you explain it the same way you explained it to us here?
Yeah, probably. It's the same story. It's the same message. There's only, I believe in, revealing what happened, And I think that, once I got through telling my story, that at this point in my career, it's an advantage. I go into recruits' home, and I talk to recruits about the temptations on a college campus. I talk to recruits about how to
I hate to interrupt you, Coach, but did you consider at any point disclosing this at the press conference Monday?
Well, I don't remember exactly what I said because I speak from the heart.
Well, you didn't say this.
Well, I probably said something like, when I met Bob Petrino 20 years ago at a time in my life where all my priorities were not lined up, and the decisions that I had made at that point in my life were not in line with the direction of the future that I wanted to go. So, you know, I think I probably said something like that because that's the truth. So
would it have, with hindsight being whatever it is, would it have been better just to go ahead and get it out of the way Monday as opposed to what you're doing today?
Well, I think that when you get it, like that moment is to celebrate what's good about the university, about the program, the direction that the program is headed, and the way and my vision for the program. I think that's what that moment is for. And then I think ultimately as it gets going, then this is what this moment is for today. And I think that's why I appreciate what everyone does for a living, because there is a process, and at some point you answer to everything you do, and you have to be open about who you are as a person.
Do you feel like you're being completely open and forthright about your past? And the reason I ask you that question because you seem even now to struggle or to be struggling with certain aspects of this.
No, I'm really a person that understands the way life works. I don't really struggle with communicating or explaining my feelings because, like I said, I speak from the heart. So not at all do I feel like I'm struggling.
We'll be right back.